Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely no secret that the Warzone 2 numbers are dropping. And from what I have seen in views and what people are watching, it seems more and more people who played Warzone are actually switching over to DMZ. And I think that's worrisome for Activision and Infinity Ward, as Warzone was kind of their bread and butter and breadwinner for the last 3-ish years. So with this, it is time for them to innovate and find something new and bring players back. But the question is, how are they going to do that? Well, recently it came to light that they actually put out a survey revolving around what the next Warzone map would actually be. And we're going to dive deeper into that, but just to start things out, a couple of the options are the return of Verdansk or even the return of Eclipse, which was the Blackout map. This is interesting to me, but there's also the option, a third option, of a new map. And we're going to dive through, talk about what this is, what happened, what went on with this, and what it means for Warzone actually moving forward. But before we do that, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. So I'm assuming if you're watching my videos, you guys use the internet a lot. But if you're using the internet without using a VPN, you are making a big mistake. I did that once where I was live streaming, I clicked on the wrong link, and all of a sudden a hacker had access to all of my information and even where I lived. That is why today's video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Now, if you don't know what a VPN does, essentially with the click of a button, you can transport your location around the world to many different locations, masking your IP address and protecting yourself against a bunch of different things. But on top of that, you can do more than that. And one of the biggest things is access region blocked content. Say, for example, you're sitting there and you want to binge watch some Friends on Netflix, but you're in the United States, it's not available there. But with just a click of a button with Atlas VPN, you can transport yourself around the world and all of a sudden you're able to binge watch your favorite show. And unlike other VPNs, with Atlas VPN, you are able to use this on unlimited devices. So if you want to use your laptop, your PC, and your mobile phone and be protected, you can do so with just your one account with Atlas VPN. Also, like other VPNs, it is not very expensive. Some of these VPNs are crazy expensive, but with Atlas VPN, they're running a deal right now where if you sign up for 3 years, you can just access your VPN for just $1.99 a month. So for a very cheap price, you are protected. All you got to do is head to the link down in the description and sign up, and you're going to get that sweet deal and be protected for whatever you're doing on the internet. So be sure to check out that first link down below, and thank you Atlas VPN for sponsoring the video. So essentially where this comes from is about a week ago, this survey was sent out to random people. Activision and Infinity Ward had the emails of almost all of their players, and sometimes they send out random emails to kind of get a general consensus for what people actually want during the game. And the reason why they do this is because, first of all, if they were to just ask in game, it would be only the players who played more that would probably see it. If they were to just send it out to YouTubers, it would just be that audience. They want the casual audience, everyone that plays the game. And essentially what this asked was, which of the following would you prefer for the next Warzone big map? So not a resurgence map, but the big map that most people play. So the options that they gave here were an all-new map, the return of Verdansk 84, the return of the Caldera map, the return of the original Verdansk map from 2020, or the return of the Blackout map from Black Ops 4. Now, it is interesting that when it comes to an all-new map, they didn't put in any information as to what that would be. The rest of the maps we have seen before. Now, between Verdansk 84 and the original Verdansk, there isn't too much of a difference. I prefer the original one, but hey, different people like different things. They're very similar though, to say the least. Also, it's important to note that some people may be saying, hey, this is just a survey, but they actually did this before Call of Duty Mobile was released, and they asked whether you wanted to see Verdansk or Eclipse, which was the Blackout map. More people chose Verdansk, and hey, look at Call of Duty Mobile now. So these surveys that they put out, they do actually use to make big decisions. Then we have the Blackout map. This is interesting to me just because it's been so long since I played it, but all in all, it's not the most in-depth map, that is for sure. But the question is why are they putting this out now, and is this actually happening anytime soon? Well, to keep it simple, no, it's not happening anytime soon. But with the rumor that there is no new Call of Duty game coming out next year, they're going to need to keep the Warzone and DMZ experience fresh. And I think that is more so what they are asking here. Now, let's say, for example, they bring back Verdansk. I think that would bring a massive influx of players right away, but the problem with that is because it's not new, people will get bored of it very quickly, especially if it is the only map that is playable within the game. Now, there's another option here where they bring back Verdansk and they kind of switch between Al Mazrah and Verdansk. Either you play a map at random when you drop in, Or they have one weekend where Verdansk is the playlist, the next weekend Al Mazrah is the playlist, and it kind of switches back and forth. Or you can choose which one you want to queue into. I don't see them doing that just because it will kind of segregate the people who are actually playing. Some people will only play on Verdansk, some people will only play on Al Mazrah, and then it'll kind of create a shift, and hey, maybe only people want to play on Verdansk, then no one's playing on Al Mazrah, and there's just a big player shift going back and forth. So I don't see them doing that, but to have one available one weekend, one available the next weekend, I think is a definite good possibility. Now you may be wondering why I haven't talked about Eclipse, aka the Blackout map, at all in this. Personally, I just don't see the Blackout map the way that it was in Blackout working in Warzone. There isn't enough to it, enough depth. It also seems a lot smaller. I don't know if it is, but it just seems that way. Not enough kind of building area to actually loot. It might work, but it would just feel a little bit strange. But in 2 years, when a new Black Ops game comes out, I could definitely see them doing something along those lines with some sort of map. The other thing to mention is DMZ. DMZ is different than Warzone. I could see them having 4 or 5 different exclusion zones that you could drop into where you have to complete different challenges for your different factions, and that actually working. 1, you need less players per map, and 2, if there's challenges for each of those, it gives people a reason to play the different ones. DMZ could have multiple of these maps. I don't see that quite working the same for Warzone. Now, I do think that this is a hard decision to actually make for Infinity Ward, because the immediate success that would come with the launch or relaunch of Verdansk would be very big for the game. However, long term, I don't see it really working out. I don't know what the correct option is for them here whatsoever. So feel free down in the comments to let me know what you would like to see for the next big map. Keep in mind, this isn't going to be happening anytime soon. They are still ironing out the bugs in Al Mazrah. They haven't even put in new locations or changed it or anything like that. Also, you may be wondering why I haven't even brought up the Caldera. Personally, that just was my least favorite Battle Royale map for Call of Duty. I have no inclination to play that one much more again, so that's really why I haven't brought it up. But hey, if it's your cup of tea, feel free to let me know down in the comments. It is interesting to think about, though, what they are doing next. It is very clear that Warzone 2 is going to be here to stay. My guess would be for at least 3 years, Warzone 2 will be the game that people are playing. And with that, it's how they innovate on it and how they change it. So to me, the best thing that they can do is release another map. But, this is a big but, I also think it would be a good idea to work Verdansk into the Warzone 2 story and into the game in one way or another, whether that's in DMZ, whether they have Verdansk weekends, or things along those lines. If they do it correctly, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a season. If they have a Verdansk week within Warzone, there's going to be a massive influx of players from that nostalgia from those COVID times. When I was looking at comments on this, everyone was saying, take me back to quarantine when I could still play this every single day, and that's all that I was doing. So I don't think bringing Verdansk back is a bad idea, but they have to do it in the right way, and if they have it as the only Warzone map, I don't think that will be good in the long run. But hey, if you disagree, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I'm just letting you know what the news is, and if you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on everything, make sure you hit that subscribe, turn notifications on, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're